Very good morning, everyone. In the previous session of Android, we have completed 3 programs which is based on API. There are various API you can use like networking API, web API or telephony API. So that portion we have already completed. In our today's session, we will develop 3 different applications which is based on 3 different topics like services, location and JSON parsing. So let us begin with our today's session and let us develop the first application which is based on the services. So first of all, the question raised in mind that what is service or what is the use of service. So service is nothing but you use that service every day in your life. Say for example, alarm clock. Every day you set alarm in your mobile phone. So consider that situation where you put alarm of 6 in the morning, right? So that is called background service, right? You can perform all the front end tasks in the mobile phone, and this process is performed in the background of your mobile phone. And whenever it reach to a particular amount of time, at that time we can call that service is started. So always remember one thing, that whenever you develop the application regarding the services, it will be played in the background of your device, and whenever you want to start that service, at that time it is activated. Got this point? So you can write the example of alarm clock over here. You set alarm and that particular application is executed when you set a particular amount of time. So over here in the design view, I have taken toggle button. When I click on toggle button, at that time it will move into the service file, and it will call class file of that service, and it prints the message on screen that service is started. And when I again click on that toggle button, at that time the service is destroyed from the memory, and it will print that service is stopped. So we have taken the simple example of service, right? To represent service, you need to include services in your package. So how service is added? You just need to click on application folder, right click on it. Inside that you have one option called new. Inside new, you just need to go on the service, and at last again you need to choose the service. Once you click on service and you need to give the name of service, at last you can check the Android manifest.xml file. Basically, Android manifest.xml file contains the list of applications, list of intents or list of activities you have created. That is the first task which we have seen inside the manifest file, right? Second task what we have seen, we set the permissions regarding the different types of facility, like notification permission is there to access network state, to access internet. So in this way we can register the permission under Android manifest file. Similarly, this is the third thing you can check inside the manifest file, like service. Once you add service in your application, at that time it will automatically registered under the manifest file. One thing I want to repeat over here, that you need to remember that without mentioning or without registering anything inside manifest file, you are not able to register with the manifest file. So you need to register your service under the manifest file. This will automatically came into the code. Now in the main activity in the activity underscore main.xml file, this is the designing file in which I have taken linear layout and I have taken one toggle button widget on that. So what we need to do, we need to create the object of toggle button widget in the main activity.java file. You just need to find it view by ID and you need to set on click listener for the toggle button. Now what you need to do, you need to implement on click listener. Once you implement on click listener, it will automatically override on click method over here. Now see, from the argument only you have the object of view class which contains getID method. So v.getID will return the ID of toggle button. We compare it with the r.id.toggle button. So if we have checked that toggle button, then if T1 is checked, if toggle button is checked, at that time what we need to do, we need to start our service. So for that you need to create the object of intent class, because we are switch from one activity to the other activity, and that can be possible with the intent class. So what I have done, I have created the object of intent class. See, this we have already done when we have taken the example of intent, right? In that the first argument contains the list of source. Right now we are in the current application. So for current application you can use get application context, or you can use this over here. And the second argument is the list of destination, right? So destination means what? My service.class file. Now see, this is the name of service which you have included in your application. You can write any name of your service. You can check it, this particular name, with the manifest file over here, right? In the manifest file we have registered, it is service, my service dot class. Now see, if you want to start the service, at that time you have one method called start service, and into bracket the object of intent class. So I have passed I over here. So now it will move into the my service dot class file. So we have taken my service dot class file over here. So it is a Java file and we can call it using dot class file. Now see, when you create my service.java file, at that time it will automatically override three methods. First is called onBind method, second is called onStart command, and third one is called onDestroy. So you can write code in any of the event, but generally we are going to write any topic or any line inside the onStart command. So I have written toast dot make text current application message that service started and toast dot length underscore long dot show. So when the particular service is called, at that time it will call on start command event, and inside that I have written service is started. If you want to write any code when the service is destroyed, right? So you can mention that code over here. And this is the method like onCreate inside any Java file. This is the same as onCreate, right? OnBind method. But right now I have written my code inside onStart command. So when the service is started, at that time this particular event is executed, and inside that we have written toast dot make text and service is started. So you will get service started message on the screen. Now when you click on the toggle button once again, at that time it will call else part and it will print toast dot make text service is destroyed. So in this way program is executed. Let me repeat this code once again. First of all, you need to add the service into your package. So for that you need to right click on the application folder, select new option, click on service and select service option. In this way you can add service into your application. Now you need to check that this particular service is registered under manifest file or not. So for that either you can check like this or you can manually add this line, but it will automatically come under the manifest file. Manifest file is a collection of different kinds of intents or activities, or it is a collection of permissions. You can also register your service under the manifest file, and if your service or permission or intent is not registered under the manifest file, at that time you are not able to use that particular facility. So be careful, you need to register it under the manifest file. Now in the designing window I have just taken one widget that is called toggle button to start the service and stop the service. Now let me explain the code regarding Java file. Inside Java file I have created the object of toggle button, find it view by ID, then set on click listener. You need to implement on click listener with the activity, and when you implement it, at that time overridden method will always be there. Now I have checked that the object of view class ID is same as the toggle button. So if toggle button is checked, at that time I want to start my service, and for that I need to create the object of intent class. I equals to current application. So this is the source location and this is called destination location. This is the current location on which we are right now, and this is the destination location in which I want to switch. And for starting of service you just need to use method start service and I. So it will switch into the myService.class file. Over here in the myService, as I have told you that when you extend this particular service, at that time it will automatically override three different methods regarding the service. First method is called onBind method, second method is called onStart command, and third method is called third event is called on destroy event. So I have written my code inside on start command because I want to print message when service is started. So I have written toast class over here, and inside toast class service started, that message I have placed. Now see, when I again click on a toggle button, it will switch into the else portion and it will print service is destroyed on a screen. Now let me copy this file and paste it into the manifest, paste it into the Android Studio. So first of all, right click on application, click on new, click on services, and again click on services. You have class name over here, my service. If you want to change it, then you can change, but right now I don't want to change it, so I click on finish button. Now see, over here we have onBind method, which is a default method, right? Now let me check that whether this particular service is registered under manifest file or not. If it is not registered, then manually I need to register it. So over here in the application tag, it is already registered, and the name of service is what? My service. So the first step we have completed. Now what is the second step? In the design window, I need to place one toggle button using linear layout. So let me copy the code regarding linear layout and paste it inside the designing portion. So over here in designing, I have placed toggle button in the design view. Now what is my third requirement? I need to copy my Java file and paste it inside the main activity.java file. Now what is the next step? You need to override onStart command and destroy event inside the services class. So let me copy and paste the following code. Over here you need to import the package regarding toast class. So I have pressed Alt Enter on the toast class. So automatically the package is imported over here. Now let me execute this application. Click on Run menu and click on Run application. Move to the AVD manager. It will take few time because we have taken the service. Over here you can see with the main activity our service file is added. Now see, we have one toggle button. I need to click on it. You will get message service started. That means from the main activity it switched to the my service.java file. Now again I want to come back, so I click on it. Service is destroyed. So in this way service is executed. You can add the service into your application. Service is basically used for background process like alarm clock. Now see, this is the first program which represents the service. Now let me explain the second program, which is based on the location, right? Location means what? You want to check the location of your device, you want to check the country of the location of your country and location of the mobile. So for that, what I need to do, I need to set 3 permissions to check the location. There are 2 types of location. One is called coarse location and second one is called fine location. So for that you need to set the permission inside manifest file one more permission you need to add, because without having internet you are not able to get the location. See, if you want to use GPS navigation, definitely you require to have internet connection. So these three are the permissions you need to set in the manifest file. Similarly, in the designing window, what I have taken, I have mentioned one text view and I have taken one button. So definitely in the Java file, I need to create the object of button class, I need to create the object of text view. Find view by ID for both the widgets, set on click listener, implement on click and override on click. Now see, in the on click event, what I have written, new my background dot execute method. Now see, my background is a class, right? So I have created one class which contains name my background, and to execute particular task, execute method is there. Let me explain this code once again. New is an operator using which you can create new class, right? And my background is the name of our class. Now execute is a method through which I can execute the class file, right? So when I click on particular button, it will execute my background class. Is that clear to everyone? Now with the class my background, I have extended asynchronous task which contains three argument, void, void and void. So there are three void argument I have declared inside asynchronous task. And why I have written it between less than and greater than sign? See, this is the concept of C++, right? We have developed the program which is based on the template. Now don't ask me what is the use of template, that you need to refer it into the C++, right? So over here we have the concept of template class. That's why asynchronous is the default class, right? It is already developed by Android. We have just used the facility of asynchronous task over here. But what is my question? Why we have written less than and greater than sign over here? So that concept is known as template, and template we have already covered inside C++. So those students who have a doubt with the less than and greater than sign can refer the concept of template available in C++. Otherwise we can directly use void argument and comma for the separation. Now I have taken one string variable which is called str_add. Generally it is used for the address purpose, so I have taken str_add variable over here. You can take any variable name instead of str_address. Now see, when you add asynchronous task over here, at that time it will automatically override three methods of the same class. First is called on pre-execute, on post-execute and do in background. In between, let me explain one more thing over here, that asynchronous task will ask in the exam, in the theory exam, 5-mark question would be there, right? So this is the most IMP question which may be asked in the exam for the 5-mark. Asynchronous task. So I want to explain this particular code once again. What we have performed in the manifest file, I need to register three permissions. First is called internet connection, and there are two locations. First is called course location and second one is called find location. So these 3 permissions you need to register under manifest file. In the main activity, I have placed 2 widgets. First is called text view and another one is called button. You need to create the object of that both class. I will explain this later on. You need to create the object of button and text view class. You need to find it view by ID. You need to set on click listener. Over here you need to implement it. When you implement it, at that time override method of that particular on click event is fired. Inside on click, what I have written new operator. My background is the name of class which I have created. If I want to execute my background class, then with the help of execute method, I can execute my background class. Now we extend asynchronous task class which contains 3 template argument, void, comma, void and void. Now I have taken one string variable, right, which is used for the address purpose. When you extend asynchronous task in the class file, it will automatically override 3 different methods. First is called on pre-execute, second one is called on post-execute, and the last one is called do in background. Again, either they can ask as asynchronous task or they can ask explain do in background method. So in this way question may be asked in the theory exam. Now what I have written over here, some is given, suppress lint new API. It will automatically come, right? Why? Because see, in the Android, right, some methods, some events and some classes are there to which Android stops supporting them, right? So that may be in the line or that may contain some warning, right? So over here we inform the Android Studio that the following code will work in the new API. Now in the do in background method, I have applied try and catch block. Why try and catch? Because the following code may generate any exception. So for that I have written try and catch. Now for the location we have geocoder class. Geocoder G1 is the object of geocoder class. Now new geocoder ct local dot get default. Now ct is the object of context class we have declared over here, and in the context what we have written this means on the current application. So in majority when you use any function, at that time first of all you need to give the context. That means majority of times we people give either this or we pass get current context application context, right? So right now I have created the object of context class and I have passed value this. So you can directly use this over here if you don't want to create the object. Now local dot get default, that means using get default you will get default location of your device. Now see, I need to check that if geocoder is present or not. See, if geocoder is not present, at that time you will not get any information regarding your device. So for that you need to put if condition, that if geocoder class is present, at that time what you need to do, I have used list class over here, right? Inside that address L1 equals to null. Right now my address is null. Now again I have written try catch block. Why? Because this particular line may generate exception. So to remove that, I need to use it between the try and catch block. Now L1 is the object of list class, right? I want to get the list of things. So for that I have taken the variable of list class L1. G1 is the object of geocoder class, right? So G1 dot get from location 22.30, 70.78 and 1. Now see, I have written the syntax of get from location. If you people don't know that what is the value 22 and 70 and 1, right? So 22 is called latitude and 70 is called longitude. So let me explain latitude and longitude over here. When you perform any program which is based on the geocoder class, right? So compulsory you need to pass the latitude and longitude of the location, that is x coordinate and y coordinate of your location, and maximum result means maximum one result you will get, right? So I have passed 1 over here. So our program will return the address based on this particular numbers. When you change the location of this particular longitude and latitude, definitely the output may be changed or you will get various output. Now see, right now what is the value of latitude and longitude? 22 and 70. So based on that it will return the address. I have created the object of address class get 0, list of 0, right? So first location I will get with the 0 because our array index will be started with the 0. Now string buffer gives you the facility to append a string. If you want to concat through string, right? At that time you can use string buffer class and s1 dot append. So it will append in the s1. So first you will get name, then a1 dot locality, a1 dot get admin area, a1 dot get country name, a1 dot get country code, and at last that string is given to the str address. Now see, if you don't want to use this string buffer class, so in previous program remember that we perform str equals to str plus something, right? So that thing you can apply over here, but right now I have used string buffer class to demonstrate the string buffer method, that is called append method. So you will get name, sub-admin area, admin area, the name of country and the code of your country, that is printed in the str address. Now see, str address is a string variable, right? And I want to show my data in the text view. So when post execute event is executed, at that time this is the last event which is fired, right? So t1 dot set text which variable? str address. So it will print on the screen. And what is the what is inside str address? It is a collection of name, sub-admin area, admin area, country and country code, right? So let me copy this program and paste it in the Android Studio. First of all, we need to add the permission regarding the internet as well as the location. So for that, let me click on manifest file. Permissions can be registered after or before activity application tag. So I have pasted it after the application tag. In the designing view, we have taken one linear layout and two widgets. One is called text view and the second one is called button. So in the designing, linear layout, text view and button. Now in the coding, let me copy the given code first, then I will explain. Let us execute the program. Okay, over here you need to click on a button. See, the name of the city is what? Rajkot. Sub-admin area is again Rajkot. Admin area is Gujarat. The name of country is India and country code is .in. Right? So, in this way you can get the information regarding the location of your mobile. But I want to repeat this once again, that location of your mobile is based on the either longitude or latitude of the value you have passed with the get from location. So you will get output based on that, right? See over here, some method contains the line on them. Why? Because it is suppressed, deprecated from the Android Studio. That means Android stops supporting particular event or particular class. Now, let me explain the third program, which is based on the JSON parsing. So, first of all, you need to understand that what is JSON, right? JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. You need to write the full form of JSON, JavaScript Object Notation. Now, for executing this program, you do not require manifest file. You just need to create designing and coding file, right? So in designing, what is my requirement? I just need to place text view in the designing portion. In the coding, what we have performed? Text view T1, I have created one string, right? Now see, this is the syntax. I will explain this later on, that how you need to write the JSON code, right? Then one string variable str is there. T1 find view by ID. Again, we need to write our code between the try and catch block, because the following code may generate some exception. So to remove that exception, you need to use either try catch, or you need to write your code between try and catch. Now see, we have one class called JSON object, and EMP is the object of JSON object. Now new JSON object JS1. Over here we have created JSON string, right? JS1. So that can be passed over here. And what is the name of our JSON string? That is called employee. So the first string, whatever the name, suppose you have written student over here, at that time get JSON object student, right? Suppose department is there, so you need to write DEPT over here, and over here you need to write department. Now see, what is the name of our column? That is name and salary. So to get the information regarding the value stored in the name variable. Name is a string variable naturally, so I have to create one string variable enm emp. This is the object of JSON, right? So emp dot get string. Which string I want to get? Name. So name variable I need to use over here. Now see, salary is what? Salary is the integer value, right? So I need to create integer variable eSalary emp dot get integer. Like get string, I can use get integer. Which integer value I need to get? That is salary. Now see, what is the changes you need to perform when you use different table? Like department is there. At that time DEPT ID is written over here, right? So DEPT ID is, say for example, integer. So what you need to do? Integer DEPT ID or simple ID variable. Instead of emp, we will create the object of DEPT. Say for example D1. So D1 dot get integer, right? Let me write over here how we can make a changes over here. Instead of employee, I want to use DEPT public static final string JS1. This variable I will take as it is, double quotation string double quotation slash double quotation over here department. So DEPT slash and string. So over here the first string is completed and this is the name of our table. Now let me separate it by colon, again bracket slash double quotation DEPT ID slash double quotation colon. So this is the syntax. Slash double quotation colon is used for the separation. Now let me give the number and you can give number directly. So let me give ID 1, right? For the separation of two column we have placed comma, right? Don't get confused. First of all you need to give the name of table. So for that DEPT is there, right? You need to write it between slash and double quotation. So this is the first syntax which you need to follow. Then I need to create column of DEPT. So for that I need to use colon, right? Then bracket, then the name of column which is written between slash and double quotation, then again column. This is the integer value, so I need to directly applied and written over here. Then for the separation I need to use comma. Now see, I can copy this and paste it over here. DEPT name, let me take small variable nm, and instead of Sachin, what is the name of department? Say for example marketing. Now over here department data is over. So first curly bracket is used for this and second curly bracket is used for the particular table name, and at last double quotation I need to complete and semicolon. Over here marketing is a string value, so I need to pass it between these two symbols, slash and double quotation, right? Now what is the second change? Instead of employee I have passed department. So let me copy this line and paste it over here. Now D1 JS1, this is the same name we have used. Then instead of employee, which is our name? DEPT. Now how the data I can fetch? using this way. First of all, integer d id, that means department id, d1 dot get integer, which is the name of integer variable, dept id. So dept id. Similarly, string variable, this is the same variable which I can use. Instead of enm, I can use dnm. Instead of emp, our object is d1. Instead of name, deptnm. So over here I need to give deptnm. Now see, if you want to merge the string, then again let me copy and paste it. Right? Now str department id, we have the value did, so did can be passed over here, and department name deptnm, sorry dnm, dnm is the variable, right? So in this way you can make changes. I am going to apply the comment line over here. You can execute any code, either department or employee. Now see, instead of department and employee, if you want to create student, then you can also create student, student RNO, name, city. In this way you can use. Then you need to create the object of JSON class. Over here you need to give the name of your table, say for example student, employee, department, mark. In this way you can write, that is called JSON object. After that you need to fetch the data of various column. So you need to use the name of that column, and based on your data you need to take a variable data type, right? And you can use either get integer or you can use get string. And for printing, I have taken one variable str and apply concatenation in the str, and t1.setText, it will print employee name and salary. Employee name is Sachin and salary is 56,000. Now let me copy this program and paste it in the Android Studio. Let me copy XML file first. We do not require the manifest file over here. We can directly use designing and coding. Now let me copy Java file. One line we forgot to copy, but it is there, so it's okay. Okay, now this is the employee object enm, and over here instead of this I need to apply comment line over here. Let me remove it from the notepad file also, otherwise it will generate error. Okay. Now let me execute the following program. Employee name is Sachin and salary is 56,000. Okay, now let me remove the comment line from this particular code. Instead of employee, I want to display the content of department. So whatever the code we have written with the employee, let us remove that. So I want to print the content of department. Let us execute the following code. See, you can observe that department ID is 1 and department name is marketing. So in this way JSON parsing is used. First of all, you need to make a JSON string. From the JSON string you need to create the object of JSON object, and individual column you can get with the get integer or get string, and you can get data into the local variable, and later on you can print it into the particular widget, right? So these three are the programs which we learn in our today's session, which is based on the service, location and JSON parsing. Let me share the notepad file for the same. This is the first program. You can take a screenshot of this program and write in the journal. Let me scroll down up to this. Over here our designing file is completed. You need to write main activity.java file. Let me scroll down up to override. Let me scroll down up to else. This is the my service.java file. So this is the first program which you need to write in the journal. Let me share the second notepad file. First of all, 3 permissions you need to set in the manifest file. Let me scroll down up to main activity. Linear layout we have used inside this particular program. Let me scroll designing file. Let me scroll all the packages. Let me run up to click event. Let me scroll up to override. So in this way you need to perform the following program. Let me share the last notepad file which is based on the JSON parsing, and we have taken very easy program which represents the JSON. You need to again recall the full form of JSON, JavaScript object notation. Let me scroll up to linear layout. Let me scroll up till my application. We have taken 2 examples in this particular program. You can use any one from this. Let me scroll up to try block. So this is all about our today's session. Thank you all.